How's it going out there? We've got Robbo today. I'm just sorting out a piece of wood, try and get a decent blank out of it. So, I'm sure Robbo will keep you happy, keep you amused, you know.
Nothing keeps me happy.
Hmm.
You ought to know that by now.
No comment? Yeah, well, at least it's not on the piff, I suppose. That's a good start.
Well, true.
Bloody pencil doesn't fit down in it. It's not very nice. It's got little holes there to do circles. Doesn't matter.
Have you got a compass?
Yeah, I do somewhere actually.
Right.
I just got to swap the pencil out. It's a bit.
Yeah. Did you get your bandsaw blade back in or not?
No. No, I'm just better off watching the video out here, and I watched it inside and then came outside. Better off watching.
Which video did you watch?
Oh, it was just someone I found on YouTube that it had done a blade replacement.
Best bloke to look up is a bloke called Alex Snodgrass.
Yeah.
Now go over to the other side and see if it lines up. No, keep the point in the same place and go over the other side.
That's how oblong it is.
No, just tighten up the screw at the top. No, I mean the...
Yeah, I know. The piece of
pivot
little
screw.
thing that it's got.
Yeah, I know.
Having a screwdriver out here that small is the problem.
Right, now measure the actual diameter between the pencil lines and see what you've got.
$210 mil.
Well, that's 8 inches.
Yep. So you want to cut off all of that then?
Morning, Sid.
How you going, Sid?
Now, what did you say the centre height was? 5 inches.
5.5, yeah.
5.5. Well, that's 11 inches, so 10 inches. You can come out another 20 mil. Sid said he should be on the road in about an hour. So what's he coming to your place, is he?
No idea. First I heard.
Oh. As in work time, Sid.
Last I heard he was coming to Adelaide on the 27th.
Well, today's the 27th.
It's the 26th today. According to my computer anyway, it's the 26th.
Yeah, you're right, it is. What am I thinking of? I've
You want
lost the
Julie?
day.
You want Julie to come home quick, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I've lost the day.
Where'd it go?
Exactly, where the hell did it go?
Doctor's appointments.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Oh, so when are you coming here?
He might decide not to.
I don't like surprise visits. Sorry, I just. Well, if they're from like another state, that's okay, but not.
Oh, he's bringing the wife with him this time, so he can't misbehave.
Oh yeah, all right, fair enough. So, are you coming today? That's thrown me right off. That has, you mongrel.
Why?
Well, you know.
He'll let you know the day before. It won't be
Okay.
today.
All right.
Go on, surprise him. Call in half an hour.
I won't answer. I'll turn all the lights off.
That was one thing I was always thankful for mobile phones for. You'd ring up a customer that owed you money, and you'd say, look, I'm not at work at the moment. I'm such and such. Or I'm at work at the moment, you know. And you'd say, good, I'll be in 3 minutes. You got the check, please? Because you'd be parked in their driveway.
How many times did that work?
About 90% of the time, actually.
Because they shit themselves.
Well,
Shit, love, he's out the front. Where's the checkbook?
no, you could have parked at the end of the court, Sid, and then rung up, you know. Okay, put the kettle on, I'm here.
Yeah. You're forgetting about the security cameras that I've got, though.
But you don't monitor them 24 hours a day.
No, but I get alerts when there's movements, you see.
Well, probably wouldn't alert you for a car moving up the street, or it would drive you insane.
No, not our street. I know the cars that are parked in our street. I know that it's kind of sad to say, but I kind of actually know what their friends' cars look like too. You see, so if there's an odd car in the street,
Yeah. No. Well, you're out the back. You wouldn't see anybody going down the street anyway.
no, no. But I can bring my cameras up. They're live, so I can bring them up. I'm the watcher.
A lurker.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a couple of seconds.
No, not good enough. You should extend your headset.
Yeah, I should, I suppose. Well, I have out in the workshop, but not in the office.
Why the bloody hell would you want to listen to me all the time? At least you can put the headset down and I'll shut up.
Well, this is true.
Right. I've got to do a little bit of chopping with the chainsaw, so you'll be going on silent for a while. Oh, pardon me. Bloody hiccups. Let's see if I can get this fuzzy wuzzy thing to just at least point at something other than just nothing, you know. That's just so you're not looking at nothing when I do the chainsaw. That's all. I was just looking at the ground. It's like,
Oh,
well, I could at least like pour some paint onto something and you could watch that dry. I wish I could just go into hibernation until my bigger lathe got here, I tell you.
Yeah, well,
It's killing me, this deal, too. I don't know who's doing more work here, me or the freaking chainsaw.
sorry.
I said, I don't know who's doing more work here, me or the chainsaw. It's not going to work very well. It's going to take me a bit longer because I've got to cut the corners off now. So,
Oh, yeah.
how you going, Dr. Bob?
G'day, Bob.
Good. Howdy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right for now. I'll tell you in about 20 minutes. Ask me again in 20 minutes.
Okay. Set the timer.
That's your viewing for today. That's all you're getting today.
How's your day been?
Just plodding along.
One of
Getting a
those
few.
days, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. My wife's nicked off and left me.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So you
No,
got to
she's-
cook for yourself and clean
I
up
gotta
after
do-
yourself.
Yeah, got to do everything myself now for the next 10 days anyway.
Oh. Well, have you ever heard of Renamaid?
I don't think she'd appreciate that.
What, the Renamaid? Putting up with
Yeah.
an old fart like you and I?
Yeah.
That's what they don't want to put up with. Or they're afraid of giving us a heart attack.
Well, that too.
No, I think it's more the point his wife will kill him, Bob.
Yeah, that's right.
One way or another, it might kill him. Now, she's on a business trip or just a getaway?
No. Holiday with her brother and sister-in-law.
Ah,
Gone to the other end of the country up to Port Douglas. A few thousand kilometres away.
flying, train?
No, she flew up this morning. Oh, she got on a plane and flew up. She hasn't got to the Broome stage yet.
Oh, does she watch your videos?
No. She'd just laugh. She'd just laugh anyway.
Good. I've had I won't say an odd day, but I got involved in finally trying to fix a chair. I fixed them. It's a dining room set we have that you're not supposed to put your weight and stand on the rungs of the chair,
Yeah.
but people do, and they're not designed to hold the weight
No.
because they're decorative. 1 inch tapered to 3/4 at each end to half. No, actually tapered, but in the socket end is 1/2 inch to 3/4. So there's no support structural strength. It's just, it looks nice and it acts as a anti-spreader between the legs, to lock them in place.
Yeah.
But teenagers insist on standing on them.
Well, that's right. Yeah, Port Douglas is 2,913 kilometres from our place.
Wow.
Uh,
For education.
it's up on the Great Barrier Reef
Oh,
in far north Queensland. So
not to change the subject, but I've been following, but since COVID, I haven't seen anything posted. Uh, is the Great Barrier Reef still dying, or have they been able to try to save it?
no, I think it's still dying to a certain extent.
Just from pollution, I understand.
Well, it's partly pollution and partly a bug that got into it as well.
That's a shame. That's a. I used to do a long time ago when I was young in the military. I did some diving, and not for the military, recreational. While I was in tech school, I took up that as a one of the things that they wanted us to try and take. And marksmanship was another, but that I can't do at all. I have no parallax in my vision. Uh, so they said, "Oh, go over there and learn to dive," and that was fun. I used to have up until about 15 years ago my tanks and everything, but or 20 years ago now, but they've all timed out and they needed to be pedostatically tested and all that, on a regular
Yep.
basis. Uh, it wasn't worth it. The wetsuit I'd shrunk and it didn't fit, so I determined, well, that's enough.
No, it's the one thing I've never done, actually. I've never done any scuba diving or anything like that. Water and I don't get along too well together. I can swim, but it's not exactly what you'd call graceful.
Yeah,
No, I
that
had to
was my
do.
problem. On top of the water, under the water, I had no problem.
No, I had to do some work on the engines of a prawn boat down in Lakes Entrance, which is a seaside place from there. They had a big prawn fleet down there, and the paperwork said, "Can you swim?" So I answered yes, and then it puts how far, and I put in as far as I need to. But it was tied up at the wharf
Okay.
anyway, so why you had to fill that out? Oh, well, it was for insurance purposes and everything. So
Yeah. But there's a lot of things I used to do a lot of, but as you get older, they get, to me, too expensive, or I just get too creaky to do. I used to have a pilot's license, even got up the twin engine, and it just got to the point where I was too busy when I had the money. Occasionally, I'd go flying, uh, but just didn't have the time. And then afterwards, I had lost the time you need because you got to have so many hours of flight time in your logs.
that's right.
And the term is I timed out. So I'd have to go back over all the tests again and that. And I just didn't have the money at that time.
Well, I always wanted to learn to get. I always wanted to get my pilot's license, and I couldn't afford it in the early days. So when I could afford it, I went and, of course, pretty strict medical to get a pilot's license here, and even for the training. And as soon as I found out I had Meniere's disease, that knocked that on the head too. So couldn't do it.
Oh, well, I had a problem, and I forget what they called it, and I still have it, but now I realize what it is all about. Is that I had to take my, what they call it, one of the tests you have to do as part of the medical is blood pressure and heart rate, something to do with them. And you're allowed to take it in a dark room, relaxed, because people, when they want to pass a test, they found that the body wants to tighten up and cause problems or something like that. I've had it explained many different ways, but the way our law reads for flight is that I had to take it, and I did it reclining in a dark room at relaxed. And then they'd come in and take your blood pressure. And I was always fine with that. And I had a perfectly good excuse. And I haven't had the problem, but in a long, long time. But one of the things as a POW, they would put restraints around our arms, tourniquets, and they would tighten them so your arm would go numb. And when that happens, they'd wait until it really went numb, and then they'd release it all at once. And that is pain and a half as the blood gets to rush all at once. Doesn't physically hurt you, but it's painful. You know, it doesn't do damage, but it's extremely painful. It just burns and tingles as it's getting the blood pressure back. And they used to do that. And when I get a sphygmomanometer fastened to my arm, the cuff put on, it's only been the last 5-6 years that I've been able to relax enough so I get a decent reading that I'm not suffering from high blood pressure. Though people in my medical records through the VA, they show I have high blood pressure. And I keep explaining why it reads off that way. But about 4 years ago, when I went into the VA hospital for eye surgery, I told them about it, and they said, well, lay down and we'll come test you. Because it happened to be a retired Air Force pilot that was, he was a medical pilot, but traveled with the medevac people. And he said, okay, I understand. He came back about 10 minutes later and turned the lights on in the examining room, took the blood pressure, and he said, you're right. You're all right. And he noted it on my record that I had to have a valid one by, and I forget there's a name for that type of test, but that did it. And now they know better. And I can do my blood pressure here at home with the little machine they gave me, and it's down where it should be. But for some reason, it's for so many years, it would be higher.
Yeah.
But I love to fly. I love it just, but and I love skydiving. I used to do a lot of that too.
I was trying to do that, but I never did.
Well, you had to do it in training. Yeah, or did you just come from a jump tower where they haul your butt and shoot up and then let you drop from a high tower?
Yeah, no, we only had, as I said, just trying to do it. Fortunately, never had to do it.
Well, before I enlisted, I had done some skydiving and some jumps. So when I went in, it was listed as a hobby, and I had my card. It's not a registered card with, our government. But the club that I belonged to was part of the national club group that pilots take a look at and say, "Oh yeah, you've got so many jumps, and these are your jump masters," and that, and they recognize the seal that goes on. The military took that.
Going back to what you were doing yesterday, Jay.
Oh, only because that piece is pissing me off. Yes.
Oh, it's got such a smiley face there.
Looks like ET.
Yes. Well, it looks like a heart too. Oh, you could say, "Oh, my heart is staring at you," as a romanticism.
No,
I-
Jay wears his heart on the lathe, not on his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You should take the end of that roller, cut little fingers into it, and bend them over so they're like fingers bent over. And then when you scratch your back with it, it's better.
Yeah, it's not a rule actually. It's just a piece of wood. That's all it is.
Oh, I thought it was a metal roller.
No, mosquito chisels out there. I normally scratch my back with a mosquito chisel, but it's out in the workshop at the moment.
and how do you explain the scars on your back? I mean, you're not into S&M, are you? If you use a skew chisel to scratch your back,
Yeah,
that could hurt.
it slices t-shirts rather than slices my back.
It's easier to cut material than leather, Dr. Bob.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's right.
Oh, you're saying his skin is old leather?
No, I didn't say that. You
Like,
did. You just said that, not me.
Well, sometimes around there I've got to have a thick skin, I tell you.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So
Jay, what you been up to today?
as little as possible.
For as long as possible, as often as possible.
That's right. Thank you. That piece of wood's making me have CBFs. That's all I can say.
Okay,
'Cause
CBS.
I just CBFs. I just look at that piece of wood and I go, I've just cut all of that off, and it still doesn't fit on my fracking lathe. And I could have left it that size for my bigger lathe, and it would have just fit on there and gone. Blah, 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 got any bigger? You know. So
Yeah.
it's annoyed me. All right. Do you want to know what CBF means, Dr. Bob?
No.
Can't be
No?
fagged. Can't be fagged.
Oh.
But the
okay.
other one, the swear word. Yeah.
Okay.
So having a CBF.
Haven't heard that slang. I understand it.
It's pretty common here.
There's other interpretations that mean the same here.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Don't go quiet at once. Bloody hell, I'll kick you out.
What?
That's right. All right, I'm on the way then.
Oh, Sid's watching us tonight too. He ought to
No, he
come
might
stick
have.
his head in.
No, he might have gone by now. He was on his way to Adelaide, so
Oh.
unless he's watching in the car. But I don't think that'll be happening because he's driving. Although with South Australians, you can never tell.
No, he definitely wouldn't be. Because he's got Shirley in the car, you see?
Yeah.
He's got the boss in the car.
Yep.
No shenanigans. Damn it, man. I better put half this stuff away now. Damn it.
Yeah, I spent my day working. I had a 4x4, and I
Where'd that go?
four about 3.5 foot long, and that's what I cut up today to replace all the broken stuff on the chair.
Good
And
day,
my
Chris, and
bandsaw.
happy birthday to you.
We have a birthday.
Yeah,
Hang
Chris.
on, Chris. Happy womb exit.
He's now old enough to know better and too young to care.
I don't think you ever get to that age. Oh, well, that starts very early. Did
Well,
with
I
me
don't know how
anyway.
much sun there is in Florida right now. In Michigan, it's pitch black.
It's nice and sunny here too.
But then again, in Florida, on the beaches, and if it's a decent weather, with all the lights on from the businesses on the sand and the piers and the security lights, it could be sunny.
It's sunny here today too, which is very good.
Yeah, it's better. The moon is beautiful. It is nice out. It was a nice moon. So what you up to in Florida? Trying to get a tan? Spend your money
Yeah.
on the beach?
We've got we got a full moon here too, and I love full moons, fang nights I call them.
Yeah.
I love driving on a full moon, on an isolated road, driving lights blaring out into the sun, scorching all the trees. Yeah, that's interesting. They actually keep the beaches very dark to help the turtles.
Huh. I didn't know that. Oh, it's egg laying time.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Is that where you live, Chris, or are you just down there on holidays? No, you live in Texas. That's right.
Ohoho. He
Oh,
lives in Ohoho.
yeah.
It's two O's with a high in the middle.
Hmm.
It's interesting how the two states have slang for each other. It's all in good fun. But one thing, Robo, that's interesting that all Ohioans and Michiganders know about is that there was actually a war between the two states over the city of Toledo. And one person died, and it depends on whose side you want to count it on, whether it was a war death because he was thrown through a bar room window and died from glass cuts. And I don't know if that's considered a war injury or not. I remember having to study that in school. I thought that was interesting, the war between the states. Michigan had a very unique one, and it didn't last very long. And from some accounts, both sides militias got together and afterwards and settled down over some beer at night because they didn't want to fight at night. Yeah. As I say, Michiganders and Ohioans have a lot of unique, cute things.
It's the same there in Australia between the various states. We hang it on each other.
Yeah. Well, it makes money. And the money is made by through tourists buying the stupid t-shirts about the war and visiting a couple of the monuments and memorials. Michigan come out on top because the federal government here stepped in to settle it. And the war was, if you look at where the two states meet on the Great Lakes, Michigan had claimed a lot of the frontage for on the lake as part of its territory. In territorial times, it was. But then they started doing surveys and saying what belongs to whom. That was never really settled. So when the Fed stepped in and drew a boundary, in exchange, we got the upper peninsula of Michigan given to us because it was still open territory land that Wisconsin was going to get. But they didn't. We got it instead. So we got the whole upper peninsula of Michigan.
I was reading an interesting thing yesterday, actually, about how most of Mexico was stolen by the United States.
Yep. But it wasn't United States at the time.
No, well, that's right.
And it was paid for. Oh, Bailey had to go to OSU. What else? Rub it in. And that
Not
comes
familiar
down
with
to
that's
the
Ohio State University, I suppose, is it?
yes, and there's a little brown jug that the University of Michigan and Ohio it's a football game between the universities, and the winner of the game gets to keep the little brown jug for another year back and forth, and it stays in an appropriate pub at either time.
Yeah.
It doesn't go on
that
the campus or anything. It goes back and forth between pubs in the two states.
Was that what the little brown jug was written about by Glenn Miller?
Well, supposedly. That's what he had said, but that's not what the publicist said. But it goes back, the old little brown jug, back and forth between the two. It's been going on for, heavens, maybe 100 years. Don't quote me on it, Bailey, because I remember seeing it. It's locked up here in when we have in a pub. That was where all the football jocks hung out, and it's been the tradition between the two. But it is a game that they play, and the winner of the game, and it's always a home. It'll be a home game for Michigan. That if they have it, it's always transferred at one of the two home games for the winner. And half the time, it's only the jocks that know about it or the football followers. What was your major at OSU? Great school. Oh, OSU is also known for something that I found really interesting years ago when I worked at U of M, because I was knocking on some of the OSU jocks and people that were up for the game once and got a tidbit that really surprised me. Jesse Owens, of course, was, I don't know if you have heard of him, Robo, but he was a internationally known Olympic champion. And in fact, he won 4 gold medals. He won it for 100-meter and long jump and relay and something else in
Yeah, he
the
upset Hitler
36
too.
Olympics. Yeah, in the 1936 Olympics uh, in Germany, and that's when Hitler was running the country. And to have a man of color win all that when he kept preaching how inferior and should be burned and destroyed, and did it in POW camps all the time, kind of showed off in the world, and it pissed him off and a bunch of others. But OSU hired him as when they got back, because they wanted him as an athlete to be a member at the school, but the school was still semi-segregated. It depends what history of OSU you read or go by or people tell you. But I know they did a couple of TV specials and even a movie on Owen. And boy, could he run. He beat everybody. He just was a fantastic runner and athlete. And he lived. The school got him and they gave him housing free. The only problem was kept fairly quiet, that he had the boiler room. Uh, a location in the boiler room, it was one of the old coal rooms that was cleaned out and made into a dormitory room for him. Uh, but they claimed it wasn't for segregation reasons at the time. It was for his own safety and security. He needed to have, because Hitler had said he was going to send his people over to kill him for making such an embarrassment in front of Hitler. So they had him in a concrete room to protect them. But he taught there. He ran there. He was really good, and he was well known at OSU. And he brought a medal home to the school. 4 of them.
They said you just could be quiet.
I've been reading all about the Toledo War.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Because I don't like not knowing things. Bob, you got your YouTube or something open?
No.
Well, I'm getting a hell of an echo.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it's from. It's never been my mic before.
Try that and see. Must have brought up a video or something on the. No,
What?
well, I've got everything shut down here.
I'll remove the pair of yous, alright?
Any better?
No,
I'll kill my phone and see.
yeah, right. All right, try that and see what happens. That's what it is.
And I had the volume all the way down. I don't know how it would have picked it up.
Oh, wait on. No, it's back. It's Jay.
It's me, is it?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Well, don't take it the wrong way or anything.
No, I just like if somebody mentions something that I know nothing about, I like to find out about it.
Yes. Oh, Bailey, you love Pacos too. I have a very old Tony Paco shirt. MASH really put Tony on the global market, didn't they? The TV show MASH, where they sent all the way to Toledo to get the ribs. It was a whole storyline for one show. I haven't had any Tony Paco's ribs in years.
Good old Klinger.
Yes.
Klinger came from Toledo.
Hey, he nearly got out of the army in the episode that I watched last night.
Sorry?
He nearly got his wish to get out of the army.
Yeah. He tried everything for Section 8.
Yep. Well, they have reruns on a particular channel here. I can't remember which one it is, but they play about 3 or 4 in a row every night.
Yeah. Bailey said he's only been, and Chris said he's only been there once, but it was very cool. It's hot dogs, I thought. There are signed hot dog buns in cases all over the walls.
Yeah, they're hot dogs. They're fantastic too. I thought it was ribs he got from Tony Paco's. I have to look that up in the MASH. Yeah, they made their own buns and hot dogs, but it's been probably 20 years since I've been in Paco's, maybe 30.
Well, I've never been in one.
Hey, there's only one of them, at least as far as I know.
Probably a bit far for me to travel, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I can't drive there, so that ain't going to happen. Hello, Amber's toothbrush is copping it again.
Yeah, that's it. Don't tell her though. Eh?
No, I won't.
She doesn't watch my lives, so I'm pretty safe. There's no sense trying to dab it on. It's just going to soak into these bits, isn't it?
Mm. Well, I got to go and have some lunch.
Okay.
So I shall catch you all later.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yep. I apologize. It was hot dogs. I say it's been a long time since I have been there or even seen that part of MASH. It was probably another series they were worried about ribs in, but yeah. Hot dogs. They did their own casings and buns and everything. But it's interesting how a little neighborhood restaurant in at that time it was a big city, but not that big. They it made it to MASH. It made it into the script.
Go on, Sid.
Well, Sid's just on the road again.
Yeah, seen that. Oh, picking the camera up now.
The light's in the way.
Yep.
I just didn't know if you'd noticed it.
Bloody thing.
I'm very impressed with the quality of that ring light.
Sorry, Dr. Bob. My wife just came and gave me some lunch.
Oh. Well, I'm having an apple for dessert. Pretty late dessert, but been one of those days. Oh, a Dagwood sandwich. That's before your time.
3 pieces of bread.
Well, there was a cartoon character in the 1930s and 40s and up through the 50s called Dagwood. I think his last name was Bumstead or something like that. But one of his traits is he loved multiple layer sandwiches with meat and then a piece of bread, and then the cheese section, another slice of bread, and then the garden section, and then another slice of bread, and maybe some salami and another slice. And they were piled high. It was called a Dagwood sandwich after the cartoon strip in the newspapers. You'd have a Dagwood sandwich. But it wasn't the multiple toppings that you had. It was the multiple slices of bread to make the sandwich up. Made it a Dagwood.
They just call it a double decker.
Yeah, we just call it a double decker when it's got 3 pieces on it.
Yeah.
And I used to eat these a lot when I was a kid. I'd have, like you guys call it, jelly or jam and peanut butter.
Yep.
I used to eat that.
I was always told or taught, and I think I'm right, but it's who taught me. A jelly was just that. A jam had fruit in it. Not just fruit juice. If it was strawberry jam, it actually had pieces of strawberry in it.
Our version of jelly is gelatin with a color and sugar mixed in with it to make actual wobbly jelly.
Yeah.
We call it jam.
Yeah, they could be reversed. I don't remember because it's been 60 plus years for me.
Yeah.
Since I was a young kid and learning these things between a jelly sandwich and a jam sandwich.
Yes. Tricky. Same thing. Didn't think you'd want to hear the banging. Oh, buddy, light's got it in for the camera today, I do.
Yes, Bailey, I will agree with that. I love it. A
Grilled peanut butter. You what?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, grilled peanut butter and jelly.
It's like when you get your hot toast straight out the toaster and you shove your peanut butter on it and it goes all melted.
Amber's ordered me some that Reese's cups or whatever they just make peanut butter. And do they do that here? Do you in your country too? Just make it in the jar like peanut butter.
Yep.
Nice stuff.
We have about everything that's fattening and not good for you still sold in stores like that. And you also get those plastic cups that you can package in the kids' lunch for school, so that it doesn't get crushed in their lunch.
We've got a couple little stores in shopping centres and stuff. Every now and then, they're not heaps of them around, and they've got overseas chocolates and sweets and stuff in them, like from UK. There's one that does UK and America.
Yeah.
it's definitely when we go to that shopping center, it's definitely one of our go-to places. That's for sure.
I agree there, Bailey. I don't like it.
Oh, whatever. Don't lie, all right? There's too many Americans. It has to be popular to.
Oh, but yeah, there's something for everybody's taste. They
Yep.
have to have the sweets.
It's very sweet.
My favorite peanut butter of all is the unhomogenized real peanut butter, where it's just ground peanuts to make it. That I like. And it's usually got the peanut oil in it and it's not mixed up. It has settled to the bottom, and before you use it, you got to stir it up, just
Yep.
like it was originally before they homogenized peanut butter. You can taste the peanuts in those.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, it's as if you were eating peanuts, and they weren't sweet. They don't seem to add a lot of sugar to it, just the sugar from the nut.
That's got to hurt, hey?
It's all ground, to make it into a butter.
Sorry. My mind went in the gutter then.
I know, I tried to get you out of it. I don't even like Reese's peanut butter cups. I think they're too sweet. But being a diabetic, it's like I'm allowed 2 a day, and that's it for sugar. Oh, that I have never tried. Just natural. But Jif isn't a peanut butter. If you read it, most of it's flavoring and peanut extract and peanut oil. It's not ground peanuts. Nobody around my house loves it. Well, the youngest does now, a boy, or youngest, 13, 14. Because he's learned to eat it on toast, hot toast and stuff, and it melts in, and it's real peanuts then. Because that's all it is ground peanuts. The nice thing about the peanut butter, though, Jay, being a diabetic, if I get what they know, we can call peanut butter anything we want. That's for some reason there's no requirements, even if there's no peanuts in it. Though they're trying to crack down on that. But the idea is that the 100% peanuts ground up, that's what peanut butter used to be when they first started making it. But all the oil, it's unhomogenized. So the oil always settles out of it. There's no ingredient put in there to keep it homogenized. Oh, Jif Natural. I have never tried that. I've seen it in the stores. But when I look at something like that, I always look at the sugar content, being a diabetic, and I always buy the one with the lowest sugar content, which is, I'll have to give it a try next time I'm allowed to go out and do grocery shopping. We have a company here in Michigan that makes peanut butter, natural peanut butter, that you still have to stir well to, because the oil's always settled, or in their case, on top. And no sugar added, so it's pretty good. It's just the carb side I have to count from the peanut butter because of the peanuts. Okay, I will definitely give it a try. Because the big thing I have to watch, I watch the sugar, but carbs, of course, are important for diabetics because I'm not as active as I used to be. So, what you doing in Florida, Bailey? You going down to party, or you visiting friends, or just hit the beach? Or better yet, a business trip that you can write it all off on your taxes? Very crowded down there. I know we have seen a lot on the news about since they opened stuff up with everybody running around without masks, or well, they don't have to anymore down there. You took the center out again. Oh, I know. That's a perfect circle. So you can glue last night's piece to this piece back to back. Really interesting. It's not the Bailey. It's not time for surfing. I don't. Surfing season didn't used to come in until June, July when you got the waves coming in. But climate change, I don't know. Okay, that's good. Always better to be safe than sorry. We don't want to lose you. I have a friend that lives just by, I show my age, Cape Canaveral. Uh, when they were doing a lot of the first launches down there, I'd go down and I used to team teach with him at university level and in networking. And his wife just passed away here about 4 years ago. But from where they were at, their house glass would rumble from the rockets. It was simply sympathetic or parasitic uh, vibration from the rocket engines, and he thought that was great. Even if it cracked the window, it was worth it. Getting pretty touchy there, Jay. Pushing your luck. I'll tell you, with the other piece and that one, they would be perfectly glued back to back. Would be quite an art piece. So don't blow it, because your center circle is identical on both of them. Yeah, you're right. This is super thin.
How you going, Mike?
I still think
See,
the two pieces from last night and tonight glued back to back would be quite an art piece.
yes.
Sand the joints so it looks like one piece.
Yep. Well, that piece exploded. That's how thin I got this one this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't make it too thin. It'll vibrate loose. Well, you can still sand it when take it off and sand it the center
Yeah.
so as you can glue it together with the
Yeah.
other one back to back. The Joker has arrived.
Yeah. Fits inside it.
Yep.
It's hard to see. It's the light's being a pain in the bum.
You can sand the back a bit with your sander by hand, and you could get them to fit flat.
It's concaved up so slightly, but it does actually lock in there.
Yeah. Oh, it's 90 degrees to each other. That would be interesting artwork too. All you'd have to do is take the back to your belt sander to make them flat.
Yeah.
Then they would go together.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much of that would be left if I made it flat.
Yeah, it's yeah, 90 degrees to each other, they kind of fit together. So a little bit of your handcrafting there would look like it might make it fit. But it's a good piece that you could go from there and actually create a piece like that on purpose.
Yep. Now I've got a peanut bowl.
Yes.
Or a dribble catcher. Put a candle in there.
Yep. That would do.
Fits to a degree.
Wouldn't take much with a piece of sandpaper to make it fit perfectly.
It actually fits quite nicely.
Yeah, and a little bit of hand sanding and put a candle in there. You could make a stand where it's big at the top, narrowed down to a big base, to hold it.
Yep.
And then use your Dremel and make the arc on the sides symmetrical.
What do they call them? not no, it's not a where they stand around all the time. Vigil, isn't that what they call?
Yeah.
So the wax doesn't melt into your hand.
You could do a lot with that as an art form. That would be unique and different.
Very much so.
And that might be a key piece you could do for a demo someday too, when you get it down. Well, I got to go because I got to make sure I'm up in time to make sure the kids are up.
Awesome. Thank you very
All
much
right.
for coming in.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I enjoy being with you and your followers. Catch you tomorrow night.
See you later.
You have a good
day.
night.
Have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to try, and Bailey, you too. And, well, Joker, it's always nighttime with him. Catch you all tomorrow night.
See you later.
Yep.
Not doing much else now, just try and finish off my baby rattle. Essentially, all I really need to do to this is just put it back in the centers. Oh, I didn't have it in the centers. I had it in the bloody chuck, didn't I? I just took the chuck off. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to knock it on the head soon anyway. I just want to get this mounted. I've hollowed it out and stuff, and got some beads to go in there. I don't want it to be a loud rattle, otherwise they won't want me to make any more. Doesn't matter how wonky it is. It's only got a. I've only got a. It's a bit off center there, so as long as I can keep it straight enough to get the glue the handle in, it's fine. So I got this. It goes in there. It's got a slot where you can just see it there, so that I can slide that in there and sit it in there like that. So. And knock it out. That's it. No, it's because I was going to finish it the other day, and the handle split. So I packed it up with a bit of super glue and shavings, just to so that I could turn that little bit down. I don't want to go turning too much of it down. I just want to maybe try and get it down past that crack a little bit if I can. That's if the crack doesn't continue. Anyway, that's not today. That's not today's problem. That's tomorrow's problem. pushing the center in there too much because it's only going to put pressure down onto that split there, really, isn't it? So just keep it on there so it's just on there enough. And just need to put these guys in there, and it's not pine, it's a gum branch, so it's nice and strong. I'm not really that keen on making them out of pine, because if an older kid gets hold of it and they start smashing it, it's going to smash it. There's splinters. We don't need that now. So I've got a oops, sorry, I didn't see that. I've got a captured ring taped up here. Yeah, I think it's paper bark. Don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. Yeah, it does, Mike. Especially when you're in a semi-confined area, you almost need a spray booth when you're using too much of that stuff. All right, I'm gonna run away. It wasn't a disappointment that I knocked the bottom out of that. I'm really not that bothered. It's just pallet pine. It's not nothing to be concerned about. That's why, because the piece that I was originally going to do, I got annoyed with it because it just wasn't behaving. So I put a piece in there I knew I could just wreck. Right, take it easy, guys, girls.